Okay, for the second part of the assembly, we're going to draw the cap. The cap. We're next going to draw the cap. Look at your PDF file. It'll show you the dimensions needed for the cap. Again, be careful these holes. This diameter of this hole is 0.516 as opposed to the base, it's zero point 0.5. Okay, just caution you so it'll fit together properly. So we take a good look at the cap and then we start on our presentation, our drawing. So let's draw the rectangle first, as always. Rectangle 0, comma 0. And then we say at for relative coordinate system, 7 units long, comma 3. Okay, now let's do an extrude. Let's extrude up on this element and let's pull it up 1.25. There we go. Okay, now I have the front of it drawn. I want to have the top part of it drawn. I want to draw the front next. So I'm going to take my UCS and I'm going to use 3 points. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now if I type in the word plan, it'll turn it normal to the screen. Again, I choose polylines to work with as sketch lines. So I'm going to move over. We're going to move over 0.5. Then we're going to move over from that. Let's back up. Let's just make sure that I move the correct distance. Okay. First we go 0.5 and next we go 1.25, which is going to give us to there. Then we're going to go over to the next circle, 3.5. Okay. I'm going to C from the keyboard for circle, at, the little at sign, and then we're going to look at the overall radius. The radius of that is 1.25. Boom. Okay, enter again. My O snap is on to endpoint. There's my polyline from my previously drawn point. Press enter. Now, I want to draw a line, polyline, and I want it to be the quadrant of this element to the quad of this element here. Okay, and it's not wanting to take. See, it's going to give me a little trouble today for some reason. Okay, there we go. Now, I want to draw another polyline, and I want to draw another polyline, and I'm going to go from this endpoint all the way to the quad over here. Quad. Okay, let's trim out what we don't need anymore. TR for trim, enter selects all. Let's touch the pieces we don't need. This, we don't need this, nor this, nor this. Enter. Now I want to make this into a closed entity. Again, I'm going to use draw. We can either use region or we can use boundary, either one. Remember, boundary leaves your line work, region consumes your sketch. Okay, so it incorporates. So let's change the VP, 31530. Okay, let's extrude. This is the last object. Now this one goes out 4 units, 4 units. And we're going to do like we did on the base. I'm going to draw a line from the midpoint here to here, then a midpoint from here to here. then I can very easily position this. Okay, so let's change the UCS first. UCS, put it back to world. Then I'm going to make a polyline. I'm going to start it here at the midpoint of this element to the midpoint of this element here. Okay, I'm going to draw again from the midpoint of this element to the midpoint of this element here. Now what that gave me is these two lines. These two lines have in common is the midpoint of this line is common to the midpoint of that line in our shape. So I want to say move. I want to take this element, move it from the midpoint here back to the midpoint of this element here. See? I'm going to erase this. Just take that out. And then I'm going to union these two elements together. There it is. Okay. Again, I didn't cut my holes yet. I cut my holes last so that it'll cut through both objects. So I'm going to take my UCS, stand it up on the x-axis, UCS enter, X enter, and 90 degrees. I'm going to draw a circle. Again, I'm going to reference the center of this outside arc. Make sure it's the outside arc. And it has a radius of 0.75. Enter repeats the command. Come back over here, find the center of the outside arc and press enter, and it accepts the default from the last value you gave. Extrude. I'm going to pick this element. I'm going to pull it through, and then I'm going to subtract. Main element, enter. Take this one out. And there we have it. Now we have some original line work. So E for erase, A-L-L, all, and R to remove. Take the model out. There we go. It was all our line work. Took out our line work. Now we're going to come over here, 0.75, 1.5, and we're going to create our holes here. So let's do that. Let's use a polyline. We're going to come in R to remove. Take the model out. There we go. It was all our line work. Took out our line work. Now we're going to come over here, 0.75, 1.5, and we're going to create our holes here. So let's do that. Let's use a polyline. I like the polyline. I want to come over this direction. UCS first. Don't forget to move your UCS. Then use your polyline. Okay, polyline. Pick that point, 0.75. Okay, I want to come down 0.5, and I want to come over 1.5. Okay, C for circle, at for the last, and this diameter is 0.516. 516, okay? Enter repeats the command. My end snap is on. Enter, it takes the last value, okay? Looks good. Now the UCS is that way, so I'm going to go ahead and modify and mirror. You can extrude then mirror, but I just found it easier to do it this way. Midpoint, remember, pick the midpoint, right there it is, and pull it down. That's going to be your mirroring line, mirror line. Looks good. Now I want to come over here. We're going to come from this hole out to here, but it's aligned with this, okay? So let's pick a point here, pull it out here, pull it over here, and see what we got, okay? So from here to here is 0.5, and from here to here is 0.3. Let's use a polyline. So we're going to pull a polyline out there, 0.5, enter, and then again, just another distance, 3 point, step to there, C for circle, at for the last point, and then it defaults to our last value, so just press enter, okay? Now I'm going to mirror this over. Again, I used a polyline. I went from here to here, 0.5, and then I went on out to 3. It gives me this one. Again, we can come in here and go to modify, mirror, pick the mirror. You can pick your midpoint of this element because it's symmetrical, pull it this way, and press enter. Okay, and then press enter. Now let's extrude. Let's take this. Let's extrude it down. One, this one, this one, this one, and this one. And let's extrude it down. Look through the object. This hole goes all the way through. So we want to subtract main object, enter, take this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one out. Okay. Let's erase all unnecessary. Erase, enter, all, ALL, R to remove, don't forget that, and remove the model. Okay. When you're finished, you have this one. Okay. That's going to be our cap. That's going to be our cap. You can fill up the edges and round them over so they're not sharp with just a 0.1 or 0.12 if you want to. It's not necessary. Okay, so let's save that. Say File, and we're going to hit Save As, and we're going to come up and we're going to call this one Cap, C-A-P, Cap, and we're going to hit Save. Okay. So far, we've got the base, So what we want to draw next is going to be the bushing. Going to be the bushing. This piece here. Okay. So